coming. Bentalk sent in $25. Never beat Star Tropics as a kid, but great to see it destroyed as part of AGDQ. And with that, I have been told that we are ready to go for our next run. So I'm going to hand it over to Chachamaxx for the Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck. Have fun, my friend.
Thank you. And good morning, AGDQ, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're so happy to have you all today for this run of the Lucky Dime Capper starring Donald Duck. My name is O-Ren. I am French, as you may hear from my accent, and our runner, Chachamaxx, is also French. He will have a few words for you at the end, but just know that he holds the world record for this game. A few days ago, he just beat his own PB, so that's just perfect, and we hope that maybe, just maybe, we will get a world record this time today with you for Prevent Cancer Foundation. So, the Lucky Dime Capper is a scrolling platformer developed by Sega for the Sega Master System and the Game Gear, and it was released in 1991. The plot is a very classical plot for a platformer. Magica the Spell, the most famous duck witch, duck antagonist, has stolen Scrooge McDuck's #1 dime and also kidnapped his nephews. Huey, Dewey, and Louie are missing, and it's their own call, Donald Duck, that embarks on a journey around the world to retrieve them. Together with the Lucky Dime, of course, because Scrooge McDuck will not tolerate to have his Lucky Dime stolen. So, Shasha, maybe we can proceed, my dear? Yes, so the game consists of 7 stages from the northern woods to the South Pole, going through tropical isles and the Egyptian pyramids. And so maybe we can start choosing our first world. Our first stage. Yes.
I'm ready.
You're ready? So we'll start with the northern woods of Canada.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready when you are, my dear.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Let's go! So you will see, for those of you who played Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, that it follows the same gameplay. You go forward, you jump, you sneak, and that time your hero can attack with weapons. And as you'll see, there are several weapons, flying disc and a hammer, but Shasha is aiming for the hammer and he will only use the hammer. Why? Because first, when you hold a weapon, you have an additional HP. You start with 1 HP, so basically everything one-shots you. If you have a weapon, you have 2 HP, so it may two-shot you, but you still have a chance to survive. And he is getting to the first boss, that is a bear with a bee flying around its head. And wait for it. Yes, you just saw that he is sticked to the right side of the screen. You may wonder why. It's because when a stage is finished, donuts come back to the center of the screen, but this is not what we want. We want to skip the animation of the end stage. So to stick this animation, he sticks to the right side of the screen, and it made him save, basically a few milliseconds, but this is speedrun, and every millisecond matters, basically. Stage 2, which is the Great American Forest, and you can see, oh my goodness, have you seen these little snakes, how cute they are, showing their little tongue to the camera? They are so cute, but they are very deadly, Remember, without a weapon, everything one-shots you. Here, everything is cyclic. Basically, this game is not an RNG creature, and you just have to know the patterns. Stage 2 is also the traditional, overly difficult underwater stage of all the good and respectable platformers, and this is it, the level where you have to swim, skip the enemies, and swear all the curse words you know. Here, now he knows the piranhas and snakes patterns by heart. Almost by heart, Shasha. Oh, and it's a first fail. I think I jinxed him. I'm sorry. Yeah, the cute snakes, the cute deadly snakes. But it's okay. There was a checkpoint nearby, so he can restart almost where he failed, and that's it, Shasha. He did it. And yes, this is boss number 2. I know, this is the American forest. The boss is a lion. Don't ask. Just to let you know, when the lion attacks, his hitbox expands to his whole body instead of its head. So that's why, you see, you always try to hit him when he attacks. And then he did the same thing, like sticking to the right side of the screen to skip the animation. And this will lead us to stage number 3. The Andes Mountains of South America. And you will see, and I would like to take this opportunity together to appreciate the beautiful animation and the design of this game. Look at it. So why is it that important? It's important because it's still a Master System game, you know, albeit a end of the Master System game era, but still Master System game. So it's everything is carefully depicted. It's still a cartoon, and I was about to say that this mountainside is very dangerous. So thank you, Shasha, for so perfectly illustrating my words. So let's get back. Stage 3, actually, to be honest with you, is also a rise in difficulty in the game. It's a rise in difficulty because everything will be faster. You see that there is a scrolling to symbolize the slope of the mountain, and it will get steeper and steeper, and so faster and faster. And it's getting steeper, making it more difficult to avoid the rocks. And don't worry, he knows the patterns, he knows when to jump. The timing is extremely strict. It's all about anticipation. Here, the Sombrero Man, I just said that it was not an RNG creature, but the apparition, like the pop-up of the Sombrero Man is random. So there are a few exceptions with RNG. Here he's always jumping to once again save a few milliseconds. Here, the same. He knows the patterns and he started at the right time, because otherwise he has to wait for another cycle to start, which can be like really, really time consuming. And he will slowly but surely get to boss number 3. At this point, I would like to remind you, why does he use the hammer? Actually, why the hammer and not the flying disc? Because the hammer, you can use it indefinitely, whereas the flying disc, once it has been launched, you have to wait for it to cross the entire screen before using it again. So the hammer is way more handy, the hammer is way more activable, usable, if I may say. And this is boss number 3. So here with the hammer, he can directly hit the statues without waiting for these magma blocks. You know, normally you would have to use the magma blocks to destroy the statues, but with the hammer, he can destroy the statues immediately. So you may understand why the hammer is so important in the game. There is no way to speedrun this game with the flying disc or just by jumping on the enemies. The hammer is really essential. And now Yui is safe. All the nephews have been retrieved, and now we can directly head for the money, the lucky dime scapper, Donald Duck. We want the money, you know, we want the lucky dimes, because this was also why we were recruited for this task. So the next 3 levels, they will be longer and more technical. Normally when you play casual, but you will see that you will not play exactly like any of us would have played. Oh, and this is the ice level with the biggest RNG factor. You see that there are favorable wind, like now, and unfavorable wind, like we saw earlier at the start of the level. So he just got 2 favorable winds and 1 unfavorable, normally, and 1 last favorable wind. So, like, well done, Shasha. I mean, the RNG was pretty much entirely on your side. You just had 1 unfavorable wind. You have understood that unfavorable wind will slow you down, whereas the favorable wind will allow you to go faster. And this is really important for speed running. As you may know it or not, but one other runner has taken. Oh, Shasha, we're so sorry. Come on, it's fine. We just start clean with this level. So yeah, there was another runner who could also get a world record, like for his talent, of course, but also because he had god RNG with the wins. And here we have the first of the last bosses, which is one of Magica's crow, and we retrieved 1 dime, but it's not the lucky dime, so we have to keep searching. I see someone saying an intentional death, I guess. Of course it was intentional, just to show you how we can quickly get back to work. And we are now on the volcano islands of Hawaii. Isn't that great? So here everything is about cycle, except for the enemies that spits fire, they are orange, they are random. But here, like for example, here it is an entirely cyclical pattern, and we'll have to use a continue. That's okay. That's okay. This level is my favorite. The stage is my favorite, so I don't mind doing it again, and I'm sure you don't as well. So this enemy, it's random. The cycle of the fireballs is random, but everything else is cyclical, and you will see with the next level. Yes, here everything is extremely cyclical. That's why it has to hurry to kind of anticipate the lava coming out of the statues. And here you can see, yes, he escaped the level before the last statue appeared. So that's exactly like, that's something you can only do in speedrun. Otherwise, you would have had to wait for the statue to spit the lava and then go on. Here, it has to cross the entirety of the level to get a key. And we will use this key to gain access to the rest of the level. So here, little hit. So here, we just know the cycle, pretty much, and everything is okay. And, oh, no, Shasha, I told you not to swim in lava. Come on, you know it's dangerous. You always try to do that. So this is the Mega Man kind of level with blocks that disappears. And once again, you have seen the rhythm. He almost has a rhythm when he jumps from a block to another. Oh, here is the moment. It's the little break in the run. I can tell you, if you need to go to the bathroom, if you need to get coffee or tea or anything else, it's now, because we have to wait. There is like 1 minute, 1 minute 30 of wait because like we cannot do anything. You will notice that Donald's hitbox is pretty weird because when he sneaks to the wall, he will not get touched by the lava drops. And that's pretty much like you can feel that his butt will get, if I may say, his butt will get hit by the lava, but he takes no damage. So, what can I say except how are you guys? I hope you're fine. I hope you did donate for Prevent Cancer Foundation, and you know that's an important cause. Oh, and here we will escape on the left, not on the right, because the right will take us backward. So that's why it is so important to escape by the door on the left. And look at this. Yeah, look at this bat. This bat allowed us to play out of band. So yeah, you know, this very difficult level. And it gets us to the boss number 5, second Magicus Crow, with a little flower on its head. And it needs, I didn't say it, but Magicus Crows need 5 hits with the hammer to be defeated. And this is the end, of stage 5. Stage 5 is clear, and now we can reach the Egyptian pyramids. And yes, this is Egypt with its scorpios, pyramids, deadly shifting sands with a beetle at the bottom. If that makes sense, I don't know. We have a hammer. We just have to see. We just have to be careful with the bats. You see that he jumps. It jumps like to meet the bats. It's because these bats, they come down on Donald, but they stop at his height. So if you jump, they will stop at the maximum height of your jump, which can make it tricky to kill them. Here, once again, this is like, there is no RNG there. Everything is cyclical. And needless to say that he knows the patterns of the blocks by heart. So there is like no real difficulty once you've learned the pattern. Then I don't want to jinx him, you know. I don't want to say that and then he dies there, but no, that's okay. And we are reaching the Tetris part of this level. Another moment of wait. It's a strange Tetris, you know, like if you need a break, this is the second break. There will be no break after that. Just one thing to say, there are 2 or 3 patterns of fall for the blocks, depending on where they fall first, the center or the side. And you see here that they started on the center, sorry, not on the side, on the center. And we will escape through the left side to get to the next part of the stage. And you see the mummies. Once again, it is entirely scripted. Some specific mummies will get out. And oh, that was a little freezing. And we can continue. This part is a little bit, it's still very, very scripted and cyclic, sorry. But it's crowded. It's overcrowded with monsters, so it's a bit more difficult. And here is like the specificity of, yes, the snake, this big snake that accompanies the boss. He got a middle ground snake. Normally you want the snake to be on the right because the crow will go on the left, and you don't want to have to deal with the snake on top of the boss. But here he got the snake in the middle, so it's you know, not a good RNG, not bad, not great, not terrible. And now we have to find the the Magica the spell, the witchy witch in Transylvania in her castle. And you, if you remember this level, you know that it is extremely difficult. You will see that he does not play it exactly like you would expect him to do. Yeah. He plays out of band. You see that he escaped for the roof. There is no such thing as a roof for him. And another specificity of this level is that is that from when you go out of a room and you go back to the same room, the game considers that you just entered another room. You see? So normally it would have come back, in all logics, it would have come back to the first room, but no, it gets to another room. And Magica the spell just hit him with her photography, with her portrait. Isn't that sad? So to take our revenge, we play out of band and we skip more than half of the last stage. And this is for you, Magica. There, you deserve it.
The time soon.
And very soon, 5 hits on the crystal
And
ball
time.
and ding dong, the witch is gone. It's over. It's finished. So I don't know. I don't have the view on the timer. But I think it was a pretty decent run, and I hope that you enjoyed this game as much as we enjoy it. And it was really great to have you home. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, CDQ, for giving me the opportunity for present this game. I'm so sorry for all the worries. Master System is a really great console. Enjoy the marathon and stop the donation for Present Console Foundation. And my last word for the My French crew: gardez la pêche, LFR. See ya, bye.
All right, and thank you for that amazing run. To follow up on some donations from that, I have $100 here from Stubbe. Hello, GDQ. Donating this year again, and what better occasion than during a French fellow countryman's run? Also, let's get Hades. And let's see, we are already getting traction on that. We're already up over $1,300 on that one. All right, and I have just found out we are going to need to take a short break for a Twitch ad. Stay right where you are. I'll be with you in a minute. And we're back. This is Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 online. I'm Mr. Game and Shout, hanging out with you here during a few games. I've just gotten word we've got an interview ready to go, so let's head on over to that.
Welcome back, AGDQ 2021 online. My name is Jhobz, and I am here for an interview with Hedweg, who's going to be running Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair just up next. So Hedweg, thank you for being with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm actually really excited for the event.
Yeah. Now you might notice as Hedweg shows up in the next run that their shirt has changed, and it's because we're actually pre-recording this one. So we're about 2 days out from your run right now, actually like a day and a half. So how are the nerves feeling? How, is it hitting you yet that you're going to be showing off Yooka-Laylee to everybody soon?
I'm like really excited to show it off. I think it's about time this game gets like the coverage on an event like this, and yeah, I think it's a great run. People will hopefully enjoy it a lot, and yeah, I'm just glad to be able to represent the community for this.
Yeah, I think Yooka-Laylee and Impossible Lair is a fantastic speed run that hasn't been seen at GDQ before, like you mentioned. Like it like deserves a lot of love. What is it about the run that really entices you and makes you want to learn it and run it and show it off to everybody?
So a thing that I think is really unique to the game is that it combines classic 2D platforming with a three-dimensional overworld that also has its little secrets, and for progression you got to do like different little things in the overworld. And we have based on that, we basically have two games in one that we're speedrunning. Like we're speedrunning in two different modes, so to say. And like that just makes it exciting. It goes from this to the other, and the 2D levels themselves are quite optimized. So yeah, it's like very fast paced as well.
Now, the category you're going to be running is 24Bs, which might sound a little weird to somebody who's not familiar with the game. Why don't you run me through? You mentioned the overworld, kind of how the concept of this game is, why this isn't just any percent, and why 24Bs instead of some other number.
Yeah, so the general concept of this is kind of similar to, like, you guys probably know Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you can, after like the basic tutorial, enter the final boss fight right away. So after the tutorial in this game, the game throws you right into the final level, which is called the Impossible Lair. And you enter it with 0 Bs at the start, which means when you get hit once, you lose your companion Laylee, and lose a few you lose a few abilities to that. But if you get hit a second time, you're actually dead. And the level is roughly, if you speedrun it, 15-ish minutes long. So getting through that hit list is a really hard task. It's also possible that would actually be any percent then if you just go in there with 0 Bs and finish it right away. But we thought a middle ground category between like 100% and this really exciting but also hard any percent would be amazing. So we ended up creating a category which gets half of the Bs in the game.
Okay.
And that's 24.
Makes sense. Half is a pretty good number to shoot for. Now, I actually took my crack at running this game without really knowing much, and I do think it's really fun, and that final level especially is brutal. For you, is the difficulty in the run more centralized at the end? Like, oh, it's still just all about that final level because we don't have all the number of Bs? Or at this point, are you so practiced on that, it's like, no, there's just all these hard tricks and cycles and stuff I gotta beat along the way in order to make this happen?
I'd say it's a mix of both. Like, there's definitely some really hard tricks on the overworld that we're doing that are really precise. But then I think the nerves strike especially in the final level, just because we have that counter of Bs, and when we do a few mistakes in a row, which can obviously always happen, especially like in a marathon setting, like we can be way lower than we want to be, especially because like roughly 14 to 16 of the Bs are actually planned to use for damage boost strats. So we actually end up only with like 6-ish for safety. So if some stuff goes wrong, I'll definitely have to make some cuts with some of the damage boosts. But I think at the point of practice where I am, I should probably, hopefully, be fine.
I love every speedrunner's always got that little mentality. Yeah, I mean, with all the practice I put in, I should probably, hopefully be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know in a live marathon. Well, so for anybody who's not familiar with this game, if you wanted to give them like one big moment to look forward to, or maybe a couple moments if you have a hard time picking, what's something that somebody who hasn't seen this should tune in for?
I think two things in the overworld specifically are really fun. Like we have one really, really big trick that serves as a sequence break from basically the exact beginning of the game to a part of the overworld, which is casually usually only achieved after like 5 hours of gameplay.
Wow.
So that's like a really, really big sequence break that's out of bounds, swimming out of bounds basically, and we can't even see the character during that, so that's also kind of tricky. And then we recently discovered a strategy which I thought I wouldn't even be able to show in the marathon, but I figured out a really like a really consistent setup for it by now that actually uses unplugging the controller and plugging it back in to skip some cutscenes, and it's really funny.
What? That's I this is news to me. I hadn't heard about that one in my research. That's really cool. Well,
Yeah, it's
I
like
know
a few weeks old only.
I know I'm looking forward to that now. I got to see exactly what that is. Well, last question for you, Hedwig, as we kind of close this out. I wish we had more time to chat about this game because I really do think it deserves a lot of love. It's good, like, 2D Donkey Kong Country kind of style game for a lot of it. And like you said, that overworld is one of the most unique overworlds, honestly, that I feel like I've seen in a level-based game. My last question for you, though, is with you being pretty early on in the marathon, on Monday, who or like what are you looking forward to elsewhere in the marathon? Maybe it's a run that actually happens on Sunday, and by the time this airs, it'll have already happened. But what's another run that you're looking forward to?
One thing I'm really looking forward to is actually Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
also like wait, it's January for me, but I think it's actually still gonna be Sunday, like for you guys.
Mhm.
It's I don't know. Usually, I'm not a lot into racing game speedruns, but I think Diddy Kong Racing just has a lot of appeal in the different speedruns, just because of the out of bounds and like the really precise movement out there. Uh,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them, and I enjoy it every time.
Well, I'm looking where that is. That is Sunday, 7:50 p.m. So people have already seen it. Hopefully, you've already seen it, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, that was awesome. It blew my mind." But make sure everybody to stay tuned for Ukulele and Impossible Lair. Hedwig, thank you so much for talking with me here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, check it out, everybody. We'll be right back.
All right. Thank you, Jhobz, for that interview. Hedwig, I'm going to be seeing you here in just a minute. Got a little bit of time before that run, so let's go ahead and get through a couple of donations. One that came in during the last run was Adam the Feverish with $25. Holy quackers, let's go fast! Man, I'm still doing catch up from an earlier run as well. We had a $10 donation here from Wolf Prince. That amazing half-heart boss fight inspired me to go back to the boss I'm currently stuck on. This goes to unlocking the Hades bonus game, and here's hoping I can beat it before that time slot. Well, you've got a little over 30 hours by my count, so get to working. And the runner is ready. Oh no, y'all, not the bees! Take it away, Hedwig.